You are listening to PowerScore's Featured Law Schools podcast series. Today's featured law school is the University of California at Irvine. UCI recently brought in its third class of law school students, and its incoming students this year received a one-third tuition scholarship for 3 years. As of June 2011, UCI received provisional ABA accreditation and brought on 9 new faculty members, including professors from Michigan, Northwestern, and Yale. Representing the University of California Irvine Law School in our podcast today is the Dean of the Law School, Erwin Terminsky, and a student from the inaugural class, Jenny Trick. Dean Terminsky says the best aspect of UCI is the opportunity they have to start on a blank slate and offer a variety of distinct courses and requirements.
We have the wonderful benefit of a blank slate. We're part of the University of California. We have great support from our campus and from the community. And we had our first faculty meeting, and I said to my colleagues, we have the chance to create the ideal law school. In all of our choices, we should be guided by that. My central vision for the school is I want us to do the best job possible for students to practice law at the highest levels of the profession. And I think we've done many things to implement that. In the first year, we have a lawyering skills class that teaches skills in addition to writing and research, like negotiation and interviewing. All of our first-year students are required to go do intake interviews of clients either at legal aid or the public defender's office. They have to initially watch an experienced lawyer do it, and then they have to do it themselves. I think one of the few law schools that have first-year students contact with the clients. Also, we have a requirement that all our students have to participate in a legal clinic for graduation. I think we only have 8 law schools in the country that do that. We, in the first year, have a very distinctive course on the legal profession, where it begins by teaching professional responsibility. But then it's all about acquainting students to the practice of law. Every law student is paired with an experienced lawyer, and they have to spend 25 hours over the course of the year just following the lawyer around and then write a paper about the lawyer and their interactions with the lawyer. The legal profession class has panels of lawyers from every practice area to expose students to all the different things that lawyers do. The rest of our first-year curriculum is structured on methods of analysis. In the fall, students take a course on common law analysis, private ordering, which is basically about contracts, but really teaching the common law method. In the spring, they have a course called Common Law Analysis, Public Ordering, which is primarily torts, but again, teaching the common law method. In the fall, they have a course on statutory analysis. It uses criminal law with a focus teaching how to read a statute. And they have a course in the fall on procedural analysis. In the spring, they have a course, in addition to what I mentioned, on constitutional analysis and also one on international legal analysis. So we're really trying to operationalize what it means to think like a lawyer. In the second year, there are a number of simulation courses, but also there's a real effort to try to build skills training into more traditional doctrinal courses. So much is oriented towards how do we prepare students for the practice of law at the highest levels of the profession.
And if you're interested in applying to UCI, the normal application requirements are important. But Dean Terminsky says that to be a student at UCI, you must want to be a part of creating a new law school.
I think we, like all schools, look at the same things. GPA, LSAT, letters of recommendation, personal statement, life experiences. But we're especially interested in students who want to come and be part of creating a new law school. We want students who have the entrepreneur spirit, who want to be part of building something from the very beginning. And our first 60 students exemplify this. I've been a law professor for 30 years now, and this is the best group of students I've had, and they've been so involved in creating every aspect of the law school.
And when looking at a variety of law schools and deciding which is best for you, Dean Terminsky has a few pieces of advice.
I think somebody trying to choose among law schools has many factors to consider. Obviously, the prestige of the law school. And while we haven't yet been ranked by U.S. News, and we won't for several years, we have other rankings that we can point to. Brian Leiter, a law professor at the University of Chicago, in his blog, The Leiter Report, ranked our faculty 9th in the country in terms of scholarly impact, ranking our faculty after Yale, Harvard, Chicago, NYU, Columbia, Berkeley, and Northwestern. So it shows the quality of our faculty. The quality of our entering classes last year and this year are clearly among the top 20 in the country. So obviously students want to be sure that they're at a school that's prestigious. Students want to consider as professional opportunities. We've received promises from over 75 law firms, public interest organizations, government agencies that they'll interview on campus with an eye towards hiring our students. I think our students will be able to, whether they want to stay in Southern California or anywhere in the country, do quite well in the job market. Another thing that students should look to is the quality of the teaching. We have the wonderful benefit in hiring faculty of being able to really be sure that we have terrific teachers, and I'm proud of how many of our teachers have received outstanding teaching awards at other law schools and the tremendous praise they've received this year from our students. I think size of school matters. I think there's great benefits in being in a smaller school in terms of access to the faculty, being less bureaucratic. But larger schools do offer more classes, more people teaching in a field, and so there's benefits to that. There's also the question of whether a student would rather be more in a big city or more in a college town. I think, interestingly, in Irvine, we may be able to benefit both. We're certainly in a large metropolitan area, but also Irvine is a suburban area, and there's a real feel to the college town here at UCI.
Jenny Trick just finished her first year at UCI in the inaugural class and says that though it's a new school, it's very much like a family.
I think my favorite aspect is the community focus. We're really trying to build a culture at UCI that's really focused on, collaboration and being as much of a nurturing community as one can be in law school, which is obviously a very stressful, high-pressure environment, but I really try to cultivate a sense of camaraderie and, working collaboratively with each other. And I think that everyone from the faculty, administration, students, we all are trying to build that together, and that's my favorite part.
And since student life is such an important aspect to any collegiate experience, Jenny says that it has been a busy year for them to make sure all organizations are being represented.
Oh my goodness, this has been a really busy year for us with regard to student organizations. We have been doing a lot of institution building, as we call it. We have a number of different student organizations ranging from Women's Law Society to Underrepresented Student Alliance to International Law Society. We're starting to build our student government, our Student Bar Association. We put on a large event called Public Interest Law Fund auction to help raise funds for student stipends over the summer for students that are working in public interest law, which a number of our students are doing. So we've been really involved. That's been very time-consuming, which has been a challenge. I think one of the biggest challenges first year at UCI has been time management because there's so much to what you want to do in terms of helping to build the school, but it's hard to really, we all have to remember that we're there because we're in law school, and so we have to really focus on our studies, but at the same time, there's all these other things that you want to be involved in. It's a very exciting time.
And finally, Jenny says that though UCI is a new school and can be a risk for some students, you should be willing to help build the foundation before committing to attend.
I think the best thing you can do is to come visit. I mean, I really think that the people that are at UCI are there because it's really right for them, and I really try not to put a sell on anybody that is trying to decide because it's a risk. It's a new school, and I understand that. It was a risk for all of us that came first year, and it was a risk for students coming the second year, just because it's, we're breaking new ground together, so it's very new. We don't have this established alumni base that a lot of other top schools have, and so what we're really trying to do is not pressure students to come. I want them to come and feel it out and see, is this a community you think you're going to be able to excel in? Is this the kind of environment you really want? Are you really into building student organizations? Is that something that you really enjoy? Are you, are the students that you're hanging out with here, are these the students that you want to go to school with for the next 3 years? Because it's a long haul for law school. It's 3 years. Are these people that you're going to want to hang out with for 3 years and be in classes with for 3 years? I know that for me, when I was deciding, what really made me what really sold me on UCI was a brunch that was hosted by our Dean of Student Services, Dean Ortiz, for students in Southern California. And I went there and I was like, wow, I visited a lot of other schools, but this is the one where I just loved my classmates, my future classmates, and I was like, I could totally see myself hanging out with you guys for 3 years and enjoying it, and certainly that has been true, and it has really helped pull you through the first year so you can like enjoy being in the class with these students and enjoy like working with them in study groups and things like that.
Thank you for listening to PowerScore's podcast series. If you want more information on PowerScore's podcast or services, please visit PowerScore.com or you can call 1-800-545-1750.